The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys! This is Talkin Cowboys. Streaming live from the Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star in Frisco.
Handoff, Elliott plowing to the goal line. Buried, sacked by Lawrence. Prescott keeps it, and he bangs it in for the touchdown.
And now, your hosts, Isaiah Stanback, Patrick Walker, and Kyle Yeomans.
It is a terrific Tuesday edition of Talkin Cowboys, presented by Black Rifle Coffee Company, live from the Star in Frisco in the SWBC studios. Welcome in, everybody, for another off-season episode, alongside Patrick No C. Walker, Isaiah Stanback. I'm Kyle Yeomans. We've got Chris Beam in the back. Gentlemen, how we doing?
Fantastic. Go.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
How
are you, Mr. UNT? We all we got?
We all we got. Got to ride with it. Go me green.
That's right.
Anybody call their shot this week? Call their shot
regarding Brian.
Talking about the offensive coordinator.
I knew where you're going with that.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? No, go ahead.
What?
No,
how are we going to bring it up?
Kyle's over here dropping bars.
Said who won?
Oh,
our pick'ems.
The pick'ems? Yeah.
Because it wasn't you.
I don't know.
That's probably why we didn't say it, because I was the winner.
I've got to go back. I think I've got to look at
might have been the fans.
The divisional round.
It was the fans. Because
And
the fans
then
are awesome.
We got to pick the
more awesomer than you.
Facts.
Fair. I thought that's what I thought you were going to bring up something like about new offensive coordinator Brian Schottenheimer. I thought you were going to bring up something
new?
specific. He is new
to the Cowboys mostly.
Kind of.
I mean, he's not been here for a super long time or anything.
He's been here for a year.
In a minor role,
right?
It wasn't
for only a year, and in a minor role as an analyst.
Would you call Ben McAdoo in 2021 a major role?
McAdoo was
or a long-term
that was getting my
guy
homie paid under the table. That's what
this was, if you wanted to really put it that way.
And
it's the exact position.
1 year in.
Let's talk about it.
So the Cowboys hire Brian Schottenheimer, named the new offensive coordinator. Not a surprise at all. I think, really, we had talked about him on this show immediately whenever the Kellen Moore news came out. We, as Cowboys Twitter was on this thing immediately. Yep. He was a candidate as soon as the position had opened up because of his connection with the Cowboys, because of his connection more specifically with Mike McCarthy, and then also just what he's done with veteran quarterbacks in the past. So it was always a conversation about Brian Schottenheimer, but how do you feel about the hire? And my question is it a significant hire? Because with Mike McCarthy calling the plays, this isn't like going and hiring a brand new mindset for your offense. It's basically going to be he's the number two in mind now.
As it stands, I'm mostly indifferent to it at the moment because Schottenheimer is not going to be the play caller. It is going to be McCarthy. So as far as the title of offensive coordinator, Schottenheimer is a figurehead in that role as far as titles go. Now, as far as helping Mike McCarthy coordinate the offense on a weekly basis, we mentioned this last week, because although Mike McCarthy will be calling the plays, he's not going to be solely coordinating. It's going to be a collaborative effort, and for that, you got to coordinate. For that, I'm leaning towards the positive. I'm not wildly optimistic, nor am I wildly pessimistic about it. Because again, if this was a situation where, Kellen Moore got moved out and Schottenheimer was being brought up to the OC role to call plays, then I might feel a little bit differently about it. I don't know how I would feel. I would have to be in that situation to know, but that's not the situation. So it's still, it's Mike McCarthy calling plays per owner and general manager Jerry Jones specifically. He said it from the Reese's Senior Bowl in Mobile last week. And then from there, it's what can the mind of Schottenheimer and McCarthy collectively put together on an offensive basis, but on a weekly basis. But one thing that's interesting, and Isaiah's going to love this, I did some digging, get some science on Schotty. As far as his recent stints at OC. He's a big play action guy.
Yep.
He's a big play action guy. His time out in Seattle, his offense ranked I think, 8th overall in play action percentage. It was almost 29%, between 28-29% of his offensive plays are play action. So that's going to work well for a guy like Dak Prescott, who I think we can all admit thrives in a play action scenario. So, again, McCarthy's calling the plays, but with a collaborative effort with Schottenheimer, who, in helping Mark McCarthy coordinate, loves to run him some play action. So based on the quarterback you have, I think that works.
Well, how does that make you feel?
Yeah, I mean,
sounds like a therapy session.
I'm familiar with him because of his time in Seattle, right? You guys, everybody knows I'm a Seattle guy, born and raised in Seattle. So I've watched my fair share of Seahawks and dangerous Russ when he was dangerous. Mm-hmm. Shotty was there, and it's awesome to know that he has that in his hip pocket, that he's capable of that. But I'm not overly excited about this.
That's how I feel.
I'm happy for him that he has an opportunity to be offensive coordinator again. I think that's awesome. Anybody who gets another chance, that's dope. But in terms of the impact, I can't foresee at this point a major impact by him because, again, he was in the building.
That's where I am with it.
So I know people are going to say, well, he was in a very condensed role. He was a what did they call him, a consultant?
Yeah, coach analyst.
Yeah, he was So nobody knows. We don't know. We can speculate all day long how much impact he had this year. We don't know.
Right.
But knowing that he was in the building, if he was in a position to have any kind of impact, we didn't see. We don't know.
Yeah, we don't know
where the impact would have been at. And so there's a lot of speculation, but I'm not getting excited for the reason that he was already in the building. Now, the fact that they're elevating him, right? They agreed to mutually part ways with Kellen Moore. And the fact that he was in the building and they felt confident enough to elevate him from within, obviously that goes to the history of what Dallas likes to do as an organization. But the fact that he must have done something or had some kind of input that was valuable enough where they said it was significant enough to bring him up to the offensive coordinator position.
Right. Yeah.
Even understanding that McCarthy most likely is going to be the one primarily making those calls, they feel like he's going to bring some value. Otherwise, I hope as if they would have went outside the building and pulled somebody else in. So that's my take on it. Not excited, but I'm going to respect their wisdom inside the building, and I'm hoping that he has a greater impact on Dak than what we saw this past year.
And that's what I mean when I say I'm not excited, but I'm not, the sky's not falling either.
Yeah.
And when you look at Cowboys Nation as a whole, the large majority are basically on the ladder boat, where they're like, oh, the sky is falling. Well, again, McCarthy's the one calling plays, and McCarthy won a Super Bowl calling plays. So being that that's the fact, I'm okay. So when it comes to whomever the OC was going to be, and we talked about it before the OC was named, whomever that might be, they weren't going to come in calling plays. They were going to come in and try to help McCarthy craft on a weekly basis what the offense was going to look like. And that's what Schottenheimer is going to do. So because that role is not full-blown offensive coordinator as far as what a traditional OC would do, I don't see why I would invest so much emotional energy into either being super upset about it or being super hyped about it. It just is what it is. Mike's going to call the plays, and hopefully Schottenheimer can help him mold it on a weekly basis in a great way.
Do you have to assign somebody the title of offensive coordinator on your staff?
No,
you do not.
So why?
I think there's an element to that. And I was about to kind of throw this into the fold anyways. I don't think he's bringing just this unworldly knowledge to your offense. Kind of like what we talked about last week. If you wanted to go get another West Coast guy for your offensive coordinator, go get somebody who's been under the tutelage of Sean McVay or somebody who's been underneath Kyle Shanahan. Schottenheimer's done a ton of things. My biggest question mark for Brian Schottenheimer is how do you get Dak Prescott back to being Dak Prescott? That's your biggest role. And he's a quarterback guy. He's been a quarterback guy for a long time. Look at some of the names that he's gone up against. Trevor Lawrence, not gone up against. These are guys that he's worked with, rather. Yeah. Trevor Lawrence, Russell Wilson, Andrew Luck, Sam Bradford, Chad Pennington, Brett Favre, Rich Gannon, just to name a couple. That's a good list.
Yeah,
it's not
strong,
the best list you've ever seen, but it's a strong list of quarterbacks. And that's most of his starters. Now, there's been some other guys kind of sprinkled in there that haven't worked out. But that's going to happen whenever you're in the NFL for long enough, 25 years. Right. With Brian Schottenheimer, I think he has an offensive coordinator title and an offensive coordinator role because his main job is to elevate this quarterback that's already been here. And you wanted to go and get somebody who was used to working with veteran quarterbacks who are either having some struggles or on the middle part of their career or whatever it may be. However, he might be a good fit for Dak Prescott, and that might be why he's the one with the title.
Yeah, and that's I just don't understand. If you don't have to give somebody a title and he's not truly the offensive coordinator, just make him a quarterback coach.
I think that's because because you still actually need a quarterbacks coach. So I think if the thought process on promoting Schottenheimer is because you're saying, well, I think he'd do better in a role of helping Mike coordinate the offense than keeping him in the lane of simply quarterbacks coach, which means I'm going to have to still hire a new quarterbacks coach, then you don't want to create a redundancy there, right? So I would prefer those be two separate roles entirely. I don't want my offensive coordinator being my position coach at quarterback. I want a guy in quarterbacks coach that is specifically tied and glued to Dak Prescott's hip on a daily basis, as opposed to having to constantly step away because you got to meet with the head coach to coordinate the offense. But
that's why I'm backdooring what you're saying.
Yeah.
If we know that he's not the OC, he's not going to have OC duties, and he's primarily being elevated because of the impact he could potentially have on Dak, then make him the quarterback coach.
Well, I think he'll still have offensive coordinator duties.
He's still going to be coordinating. Or
he's just not calling plays.
Right, he's just not calling the plays. So the real time adaptations in game, down to down, quarter to quarter, half to half, that's going to be Mike. With, the assistance of Schottenheimer, what are you seeing, Brian? What are you seeing? And, of course, building out the game plan on a weekly basis. Right, and he was a passing game coordinator before. So, I don't...
It's titles, but,
I'm not entirely on either side of it because, again, McCarthy is the one calling the plays. And I will say there is something interesting, and I'll say this also, for those who were reaming Kellen Moore, and we defended Kellen Moore against this. Reaming Kellen Moore, the Cowboys need a more experienced offensive coordinator. Kellen Moore is not learning fast enough. He needs more experience. Well,
here he is.
You got yourself an experienced offensive coordinator. But what's also interesting, if you go back to his OC days, Brian's OC days in Seattle, granted it was prime Russell Wilson, but those 3 seasons, the Seahawks were top 10 in offense and points per game. And so now you have that kind of a mind coming over. They did. And
they were 6th in points per game in 2018. They were 9th in 2019. They went back to 8th in 2020, and then 21 was his final season. He was in 16th.
Right. So things kind of fell off in
I think that was the year Russ got hurt, though.
It was. So he's but he's being promoted within a Cowboy system that, stop me if you heard this before, ladies and gentlemen, likes to run the ball, likes to establish the run, and then...
Used to.
Yeah, I was about to say, who are we running it with right now?
TBD.
Yeah, TBD. You're exactly
TBD.
right.
But I will say this. I don't think that matters greatly on what the game plan is going to be in 2023. Be it Zeke and or Tony Pollard, or it's Tony Pollard and Malik Davis, or it's Ezekiel Elliott and Malik Davis. Either one of either of those scenarios, you have enough talent to combo package and still lean heavily on the run to set up the play action, because as I stated at the top of the show, Schottenheimer, he's one of the OCs that loves to go off of the play action. Well, you can't go off the play action if you don't establish the run. No. So he does love to lean heavily on the run as well. And now he's married with the Mike McCarthy, who wants to consistently run the ball, get his running backs 30 touches a game. So you're going to see that. And I don't think the personnel really matters. I think the Cowboys are going to be committed to that to help set Dak Prescott up to win. And keep in mind, you're coming with a new offensive line coach as well. He has to get that offensive line in order and gelling and rolling how he wants. So while that's happening, you're going to have to buy Dak Prescott some time until things settle up on your front 5. And the best way to do that is play action.
It sounds like this turned into a running team again.
It's kind of headed that way, huh?
Yeah, you think about the
Full
offensive line
speed.
coach. He was here.
He's a running guy.
It's full speed.
He was a Landry
telling
guy.
you right-
Landry guy. What did they do back then?
Right now,
Ran.
it's going to be full speed ahead on leaning on the run, and then when they pass, it's going to be play action out of a West Coast. Like, let's get the ball out quickly, and let's task guys like CeeDee Lamb who can. Let's task guys like Michael Gallup getting back to health. Let's make sure that we have playmaking personnel like a Jake Ferguson or a Peyton Hendershot who can take the ball, receive it 5 to 6 yards out, and then get you another 7 or 8. So if you're looking at the Kyle Shanahan type offense, the Sean McVay offense, it's all about playmakers on offense. It's about getting the ball out quickly, use motions to disguise pre-snap, and then once the ball is out, it's I need you to get me another 10 yards after this 5-yard reception. So my main question going forward is, what does the personnel look like?
I was about to ask Kyle a question, Mr. Draft Guy.
Yep.
How many draft picks does Dallas have this year?
Probably 10.
10.
Yeah, they've got 7 right now. They have 1 pick
That's
in
thicky.
every single round. So they have all of their draft capital. They have not traded a single thing away, and they should get 3 comp picks.
Okay, so let's assume
provocative.
let's assume that Tony Pollard gets tagged. Let's assume
That's a good assumption.
Yeah,
it's a pretty relatively good assumption.
We put that out there.
Let's franchise tag Tony Pollard. Okay, and you find a way to cut Zeke down, financially.
So pay cut
and
Zeke.
retain him. And you still have Malik Davis, right? He's under contract.
Right, yeah.
Do you draft a running back?
No,
Nope.
Okay.
not even close.
Okay.
Let me rephrase that.
No.
You were quick on that one, Kyle.
Not in the first round.
No, I'm not saying that.
Well, that's the thing. There are people right now that are on the Bijan Robinson train. I really like Bijan Robinson. He's the running back out of Texas. Hell of a player. Top-notch running back.
I don't know.
Great player.
Should have played
been a
against
Heisman.
Washington. He was scared.
Yeah, he was
Should have been a Heisman
getting ready
finalist.
to get in the building.
Should have been a Heisman finalist.
He
but-
was really, 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 really good. Here's the thing. One, I don't think he's going to fit to 26. I think somebody's going to snag him before then. Somebody who doesn't have as many needs across the board, and they're just going to grab him because he's that big of a weapon. Two, if he does make it there, he might be the only guy I'm okay with taking, and the only way I'd be okay taking him is if Tony Pollard's not in the fold. That's my only way I'm taking Bijan Robinson at 26 is if Tony Pollard is not on the Cowboys at that point. Like he goes somewhere else in free agency and whatever.
And that's fair, but even then, you have to look at your other positions of need and see where they stand.
Completely agree.
Were you able to retain LVE for a second straight season?
Go get a linebacker. Off-ball linebacker in the first round. I don't really love that either.
How'd that Micah turn out?
Okay, he wasn't an off-ball linebacker, though. He's a
fair.
pass rusher.
Fair. But it's safe to say that, the last 2 linebackers that the Cowboys used the first-round pick on, it kind of worked out.
It worked out.
It worked out.
But I think there's a contingency of fans that are standing on the table for Bijan Robinson. I'm not standing on the table. I would be into the idea, depending on the situation. Outside of that, day 3. I'll draft a running back day 3. I'll take a flyer on a guy late. There are a good amount of running backs that are going to be decent out of this draft. But you can't just take a premium pick and select
No,
one,
you can't.
especially
And
if you have all 3 of those guys back.
And we're coming off a season where there were a ton of question marks at CB2 opposite Trevon Diggs. And you see what Deron Bland can do in the slot, the nickel, and he can pop out every once in a while. But, presumably Anthony Brown is going to be healthy, but it's a contract situation for Anthony Brown as well. So you have to, again, all of this has to be spoken about contextually because it's not as easy as saying, oh, well, if you don't have Tony Pollard, go get Bijan Robinson. If you don't have Ezekiel Elliott anymore, go get Bijan Robinson. You have other positions of need that are pressing as well. And you don't, as we have this conversation, you don't know how free agency is going to shape out. You would love to believe that Leighton Vander Esch is going to stay put. I would love to believe it. But we've seen stranger things happen. And if there's bigger money out there, and we don't know where George Edwards is going to land, but wherever George Edwards lands, now you have the dynamic of a relationship there. Does George Edwards, wherever he lands, can he help woo LVE into whatever team is on his landing spot? So all of that is to be determined. So as we have the conversation in the second week of February,
Things are going to change.
Things are going to change wildly between now and the final weekend in April.
Yeah, and also not to mention you've got so many different potentials in terms of this draft at 26 because if you're filling out a draft board, you're going to have about 20 to 24 first-round grades, but you're picking 26th. So maybe one of those first-rounders that you have graded as a first-round drop, but chances are you're probably going to be picking a second-round player at 26.
Then you could develop
trade back.
I mean, you could develop at running back as well. That's why I'm fine on using the flyer.
I need to go call my buddy Jeff Kavanaugh. We call him Captain Trade Down.
Oh yeah.
That's Seattle.
JC.
Seattle does.
Yeah, trade on down.
That's what John Schneider.
I'd be cool with that.
Schneider.
That's his cooking.
I'd be cool with that. I'm always more draft picks. Give me. Especially if you don't have to give up a whole lot of draft capital. You can move down a little bit. Give me some more darts.
I'm not on the running back in the first. And
Bijan's the exception.
Even to
He's the exception.
Depends on the scenario. Because even to your point, as far as using a flyer on a guy, Malik Davis, we all love Malik Davis. He was undrafted.
That's the thing, though, is if Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard aren't there and then Bijan Robinson's not there, I'm not taking a running back. Even in that worst-case scenario, I'm not taking a running back.
My point is that the Cowboys do well perennially in developing running backs. If they do nothing well, they know how to develop some running back talent.
They would be drafting a cornerback. Right.
First round?
Yes.
Is that your guess? Your guess?
Absolutely.
Is that your say
first
with your
round
chest
corner?
on Tuesday?
Saying it with my chest.
Say it with your chest on Tuesday.
So
February 7th,
let it be known.
They're drafting a cornerback.
Drafting a corner in the first round.
Yes.
Okay. There's some pretty damn good corners. All right, we're going to talk more about draft corners when we come. No, I'm just kidding. When we come back, where could this hire elevate the wide receivers? Where do we go with the wide receiver room? We've talked a lot about running backs. We've talked a lot about the quarterback position, but have these wideouts shown us enough? And where could you get more out of the passing game when we come back with more Talkin' Cowboys?
When you build, you start with the foundation. And home ownership is a foundation of a stable future. The Bank of America Community Home Ownership Commitment has helped over 34,000 people lay the groundwork so far, with up to $10,000 towards your down payment or 3% of the purchase price, whichever is less. The satisfaction of owning your own place can become a reality. Visit bankofamerica.com/homeowner to learn more. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America N.A. Equal Housing Lender. Credit and collateral is subject to approval. Restrictions apply. This is not a commitment to lend.
Did you get to work on time?
Yeah, but I just realized it's Sunday.
Little Sweet says head on home. Dr. Pepper's on its way. So sweet, unique. Baby, there's nothing better. I bet you've probably done something that deserves a Dr. Pepper. Did you invest your nest egg in an NFT?
Yeah, and I don't even know what that is.
It's a non-fungible token. Everyone's done something that deserves a Dr. Pepper.
Todd thought it would be secure to jog in the cheetah savanna. Todd believed the big cat repellent he bought online was reliable. And now, Todd is trying to be faster than this cheetah that can run 80 miles per hour. But the good news is, Todd has AT&T 5G that is fast, reliable, and secure. And he learned the best thing to do is stop running and toss her the backpack with the beef stew. AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, secure. It's not complicated.
5G requires compatible plan and device. 5G may not be available in your area. See att.com/5G for you for details.
Are you ready to take coffee off your grocery list forever? Black Rifle Coffee Club is here to help. As a coffee club member, you'll get your favorite coffees roasted, packaged, and shipped to your door free of charge on your preferred schedule. Set it, forget it, and never run low on coffee again. Members also get exclusive deals on coffee, products, and discounts from partner brands. Ease your mind and let Black Rifle worry about your coffee supply. Go to blackriflecoffee.com to join the coffee club today.
Back to Talkin' Cowboys.
Back here on Talkin' Cowboys, here on this Talkin' Tuesdays, we look into the offseason moves of the Dallas Cowboys and how it could affect this team moving forward. We just talked about Brian Schottenheimer, named offensive coordinator this past weekend. Not a surprising news burst or breaking news this past weekend. However, it is one that could impact this Cowboys offense moving forward. I want to know where we stand with the wide receivers, Isaiah. I know overall, I guess the temperature outside of CeeDee Lamb was far disappointment on most of the wide receivers. I mean, look at your third-round pick, Jalen Tolbert. Disappointment. Michael Gallup coming back from injury. Took an entire year and still never really had anything. It just wasn't a good year for pass catchers outside of CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb elevated your offense enough to where you can make it happen, but where do you go from here with the wide receiver room?
I don't see Dallas making a ton of moves here, to be honest with you.
Yeah?
I think they signed one guy back. You have to look at T.Y. Hilton. and see if he wants to come back.
Please. Yes, please.
I mean, I would like for him to come back personally, but I don't know.
Would you like for him to come back for an entire season?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I think he was in shape.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was in position to make an immediate impact. He did make an immediate impact. I'm talking about, 3rd and 30. I think that he was open in the playoff game.
Quite a bit.
So I think he was prepared and ready to go. So I think he's a valuable asset to have on your offense. Obviously you have CD. Obviously you have MG that's going to come back off of his surgery. So you got three-headed monster right there if you decide to retain TY. And then you have Tolbert, which they're going to give another opportunity to, just because of draft equity alone.
Correct.
He's going to get another shot to come back and be healthy. And
if he wasn't a third-round pick, would he already been cut?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If he was a fourth-round pick, he would have been cut. So Tolbert is going to have a chance to make an impact. You have Simi Fehoko, who's on IR all year. He's going to be into his third year now. This is going to be his last shot.
He should be close to getting healthy already. So
yeah, I foresee him being healthy. I think him and Tolbert are really going to be battling it out for a roster spot. That's just my
early training camp storyline from
Absolutely,
Isaiah Stanback.
I mean, I think that's the situation. I think that they're going to most likely grab another receiver.
Yeah,
I think they will draft a receiver, or pick one up in free agency. Either way, they're going to add another guy to this roster. And then Noah Brown, what's his contract situation?
Oh, he's a free agent.
Yeah, Noah might be gone. Might. So, I don't know. It depends how much money there is to throw around, but let's assume that Noah comes back somehow. You have CD, MG, TY, hopefully, and Noah Brown. That's your first four. And then you got three more spots that guys are going to be vying for.
For me, it's going to the success of the wide receiver core. Obviously, is going to be predicated upon Dak Prescott and that wide receiver core getting on the same page, because we talked about it. 40% or so of his interceptions were accountable or attributable to the wide receiver core not running the route that Dak thought they would route. The chemistry just wasn't there. But also, and obviously, what can Brian Schottenheimer and Mike McCarthy concoct together on a weekly basis? But it ultimately goes back to what I was saying earlier. When speaking of what McCarthy and what the McCarthy-Schottenheimer offense might look like, personnel. West Coast is personnel based. We need playmakers that can take the ball, receive the ball 6 yards out, and turn that into a 25-yard play, 10-yard play, 14-yard play. I mean, yak. That's what the 49ers do.
I forgot Turpin. Turpin's going to be.
I'd have to see that before I believe it. Like, I'd have to see them committing to Turpin as a wide receiver.
Well, I'm saying he's taking up a wide receiver roster spot.
Well, true enough. Math is the math.
And the contract's there because he's here for a couple years.
Yeah. What I would do is they've already, and this isn't breaking news either, they're going to revisit the OBJ situation, the Odell situation. They're going to talk with him again. And Odell is starting to release some workout vids of him running some routes here and there. But for my money, if it was a conversation of OBJ versus T.Y. Hilton, I've already seen what Hilton can do. I've had him in the building. He's already started to establish at least a basic chemistry with Dak Prescott. I'm giving T.Y. Hilton a 2-year deal. I'm giving him a 2-year deal because that at least gives you an out after 1 year if things don't go as planned. But his trajectory in such a short period of time with Dak Prescott, it's up there. That needle was pointed due north. So CeeDee Lamb is going to do CeeDee Lamb things. He's the definitive wide receiver one now in Dallas. Kudos to CeeDee Lamb for making that ascension. Michael Gallup, now instead of entering during the season to try to regain form after a major injury, he has all off season to get healthy, get right, get in the Dak yard with Prescott, and get that timing back together, get himself back. So if you look at it from the aspect
Have you been invited to the Dak yard before?
I haven't been invited to the Dak yard before. Yeah, Dak, I like barbecue. CeeDee Lamb, let's say a healthy Michael Gallup, T.Y. Hilton. I like that a lot. Huge question marks behind that. Is Jalen Tolbert ready to take the next step? That's a big question mark. Kevontae Turpin, he's going to take up a roster spot as a wide receiver, so you got to factor that in as well, like you said. Where is Dennis Houston in his development? Dennis Houston was a training camp star.
Yep. Yeah.
As was Simi Fehoko. And
he's still here.
Yeah, and I had to
People forget about Dennis Houston, but he's still around.
And he's on the practice squad, and he's a dead guy, and he signed
guy
to a futures deal, so he's here. Simi Fehoko, I had to double check because I wanted to make sure. But, yeah, he actually – his practice window was opened on January 19th. So presumably, if he wasn't healthy then, he's going to be fully healthy. He's likely healthy now. So Simi Fehoko, another training camp star, he's going to push and challenge Jalen Tolbert. He's going to challenge Dennis Houston, so forth and so on. But at the end of the day, you still have a question about depth behind those top three guys, and you have to resolve that. And in resolving that, you got to make sure that these guys are the right personnel, because I can't stress it enough. Yak is going to be needed. You know CeeDee Lamb can do it. You know a healthy Michael Gallup can do it. You know T.Y. Hilton can do it. He showed you he has the wheels. Behind those guys, you don't know that Noah Brown is going to be retained. Noah Brown is a coaching favorite. He's a Dak Prescott favorite. He's a favorite in the building, and he's a strong special teams guy. But if you retain him, again, it's another wide receiver slot being taken up in a situation where how much in 2023 is Noah going to be utilized as a receiver?
And he's a vet, so his number is going to be, I don't know what it's
so it'll be interesting how it all sets out, because the organization loves Noah Brown, but schematically
this is about
speaking,
the time in his career.
Right, schematically speaking, he started out the season on a Cedric Wilson trajectory, but he did not end on that Cedric Wilson trajectory.
Same way Dennis Houston started out hot. He's a Dak guy.
Yeah.
And then when Dak wasn't there, what happened?
Yeah, there you go.
That's
facts.
It is what it is.
You're saying Noah Brown had the connection with Cooper Rush.
Yeah.
That was what that was.
And Dennis Houston had a connection with Dak.
No, I agree.
I think they'd love to keep Noah Brown, but again, it's a numbers game.
How much?
It'll probably be just under $2 million. Just under
for
two
who?
for Noah. He was 1.2 this year. It'll probably be like 1.4, 1.5.
Now,
something like that.
Fair enough. Mathematically speaking, that balances out with the fact that you have guys like Dennis Houston, Simi Fehoko on rookie deals. Kevontae Turpin is technically still on a rookie deal.
Maybe if you draft a guy.
Right. Jalen Tolbert, rookie deal. Draft a guy, that's another rookie deal. So the money kind of balances out there.
But you're also going to have to pay CeeDee Lamb at some point down the line, too.
ASAP surely.
Yeah. Maybe now.
That's what I mean. Like ASAP surely.
Oh, man, there are a couple contracts that are on the horizon. CD, Trayvon, that negotiations are going to start now, and they're going to continue either until the deal gets done sooner or next year it's going to be blow up central. It'll be a big-time thing because they've still got 1 year left on their rookie deals, but usually these contract negotiations start the year before.
It would behoove the Cowboys to get either Diggs or Lamb extended now, because both of those guys are worth the franchise tag next offseason. But
that's gonna be a hefty tag.
Exactly. So yeah.
My
point is you don't want to have to choose between the two. I mean, you also have the transition tag as an option as well, but
they're not going to use that.
Yeah, they're not
going to
use that. Yeah, so it's franchise tag or extension, and you just don't want to have to negotiate. Oh, it's rich. It's rich.
So a 2024 projected franchise tag would be $25 million for a wide receiver. $25 million for 1 year for a wide receiver. For a corner, it would be 21.5. Oh my God, that's a lot of dough.
Extend now.
Yeah, can we go ahead and get this done?
Get that out of the way. Extend now.
My Lord.
Extend Dak, extend Diggs, extend CD.
Lots of work for the front office. All right, when we come back on Talkin' Cowboys, we're going to wrap things up by talking about the number one priority for helping out Dak Prescott. If you could add one position group to help out Dak, one player to one position.
Has to be a player.
Who would it be? Oh, we can talk about that when we come back right after this on Talkin' Cowboys.
Todd thought it would be secure to jog in the cheetah savanna. Todd believed the big cat repellent he bought online was reliable. And now, Todd is trying to be faster than this cheetah that can run 80 miles per hour. But the good news is, Todd has AT&T 5G that is fast, reliable, and secure. And he learned the best thing to do is stop running and toss her the backpack with the beef stew. AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, secure. It's not complicated.
5G requires compatible plan and device. 5G may not be available in your area. See att.com/5G for you for details.
Black Rifle Coffee Company serves premium coffee to people who love America. When you drink Black Rifle coffee, you are directly supporting veterans, law enforcement, and first responders in your community. Black Rifle's expert roasters love coffee almost as much as Texas loves football, so it makes sense that America's Coffee partnered with America's team. Go online at blackriflecoffee.com and fuel up with the official coffee of the Dallas Cowboys. That's blackriflecoffee.com to fuel up today.
Lil Sweet! Did you get to work on time?
Yeah, but I just realized it's Sunday.
Lil Sweet says head on home. Dr. Pepper's on its way. So sweet, unique. Baby, there's nothing better. I bet you've probably done something that deserves a Dr. Pepper. Did you invest your nest egg in an NFT?
Yeah, and I don't even know what that is. It's a non-fungible token.
Everyone's done something that deserves a Dr. Pepper.
Want to use what the pros use? How about the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys? Jack Black. Right now, you can get the Jack Black Starter, a curated collection of Cowboys locker room favorites for just $10 with free shipping. The starter includes 4 Jack Black skincare favorites, plus a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Go to getjackblack.com/cowboys and use the code word TEAMJB. That's getjackblack.com/cowboys. The Jack Black Starter, $10, free shipping.
Back to Talkin' Cowboys.
Back here on Talkin' Cowboys as we welcome you back in to a Tuesday edition. Isaiah Stanback, Super Bowl champion. We've got Patrick No-C Walker, Chris Beam in the back. I'm Kyle Yeomans. It's Super Bowl week, guys. Who are we cheering for?
NFC, duh.
Stop it.
I am.
No, you're not.
Put some respect on the NFC.
Stop it.
How about those Chiefs?
I hear you. I get it. I get it from that perspective, but I also
give me the Chiefs.
NFC East. I want them respect.
The hell I do.
I don't care.
The hell I do.
Check it out.
I want Patrick Mahomes
check it
to
out.
just
This is my stance on it.
slap those guys around.
And this has always been my stance as a competitor. If I don't take care of business and put myself in position to represent the conference, I want the conference to have respect.
No.
So I don't have to like you, and I don't have to like you, but I have to respect what you've done. I hear you. I see you. But I take the emotion out of it. So I could dislike you to the utmost power. No. But I still want the respect. So it's no different than even in college.
College, I understand it because you're trying to elevate your conference for recruiting purposes. Look at the SEC.
They're talking about the recruiting
SEC,
if they're not coming to my school.
Yeah, but that's the thing. You're trying to elevate your school because of Mississippi or because of Alabama and LSU and all their success for football. Guess who's better? Mississippi State.
I don't give
all these other schools that never.
I care about University of Washington. Everybody else kick rocks. Deion Sanders, you hear that?
How much could they
kick rocks?
How does the Eagles winning elevate the Cowboys?
I didn't say it elevates the Cowboys. I said it puts some respect on the conference.
Nobody gives
the hell with that.
Okay.
All right, the way I am, and I play mine both ways. I'm completely #keep that energy. Kyle makes a fantastic point. If that's going to be your take, I could justifiably see why it would be your take from a collegiate standpoint.
Yeah.
Conference-wise. I get it. It nauseates me to consider doing it myself because go Dogs. I didn't
even mention Georgia.
I want to put some respect on the name. Back to back. Okay, back to back.
Back to back, fair.
But that being said, I don't ever want success for the Bamas and the Floridas and the LSUs of the world and Missouri. I don't. Now, for those that say, oh, it's the SEC, okay, pump up the conference if you like. I'm saying I don't care. I don't care. If Georgia can't get into the playoff and get into the national championship, but Bama's there. Whoever's playing Bama, that's who I want to win, period. Now, translate that to the NFL. It's even more nauseating to consider that anyone would cheer for a conference or a division when you know what comes from your division rival winning the Super Bowl, the sugar honey blank show that you then have to deal with for the foreseeable future from the fan base and the media analysts in that particular I do.
Yeah.
I want nothing but the worst for the Philadelphia Eagles. Nothing but the worst for the Washington Commanders. And I actually have, of the 3 teams in the NFC East, there's only one team I have respect for, and that's the New York Giants. And even with that being said, as a franchise, as an organization, I have a lot of respect for that.
They do a good job.
That said, I want nothing but the worst for them as well. If it's not the Cowboys in a title game,
I hear you.
But go AFC.
They had a chance.
Okay, fair enough. They did have a chance. And I'm not saying because the Cowboys blew their chance that, oh, well, let's just
all right,
look
go
at
Philly.
Never. You wouldn't even hear me say that.
I know. I said it, and I just immediately
it tasted awful.
Started to like throw up a little bit in my mouth.
All different. We all have our own opinions. If I was running track and I lose to somebody in my conference, I want my other guy to go get it.
No, bro. Not even.
We're all different competitors.
Not even. Okay, so now you're back on collegiate level.
I'm just talking about just in general. I mean, even in the NFL, the representative, that's just me. That's just me. You did better than me. That's just facts. You did better than me, okay? And you represent our side, West side.
It doesn't mean I want them to do better than that.
So you're less of my enemy because you did better than me?
I personally want them to go win that thing so that we can smack them up twice next year and say we beat the Super Bowl champions twice.
Oh, I don't care about that.
Now that I don't care less.
I do.
No.
I do.
No. Not at all. I 150%.
This is a psychological conversation I did not expect to have.
Want the Kansas City Chiefs to not only defeat the Philadelphia Eagles, I want them to figure out a way to embarrass the Philadelphia Eagles.
Oh, you want a Georgia TCU game?
I want a Georgia TCU game. That's what I want. I want it to be unequivocal that the Philadelphia Eagles
Do you think that's going to happen?
I don't think it's going to happen because
Okay, what do you think is going to happen? What do you think is going to happen? Give me your score and give me your prediction.
Chiefs win 34-24.
Okay, 34-24.
Chiefs win 34-24.
What is yours?
I don't have a score.
No, give me a score.
I don't have a score.
I'm asking for a score.
I have a prediction in terms of who's going to win. I think Philadelphia is going to win.
Because you want Philadelphia.
It's not that. It's not.
What's
I
the
think
score?
Philadelphia is a.
You just said you wanted to win because you want them to represent the NFC.
I'm saying I want them to. whip it. Yeah, absolutely. From that particular, I'm not a fan. So
no, I'm talking about. I'm saying you want them to win because of your argument about the NFC.
I think they're the better team. I think they're the better team.
Man.
I think they've been the best team. I've talked about that all year long, though. That's not
new.
No. Yeah. I've said that all year long. They made the moves in this offseason to put themselves in this position.
I'm still stuck on you.
And then they kept making the moves during the year.
Wanting the NFC and NFC East to win if the Cowboys
can't. Man. I don't get tired of it.
Oh, I'm tied in it. I don't care.
I know you are. I'm not. Y'all know I'm a fan.
If I had to pick
one city, okay, I have a high regard for everybody else. Dallas had their chance.
Okay,
I would love to be cheering for Dallas right now.
Nobody's
if it's not
disagreeing with
Seattle
that.
and it's not Dallas, I really don't give a doggone. But I think Philly's a better team. And if I had to choose between the AFC and the NFC, I want the NFC to win it.
Hey, Frank Clark, you hear this?
Here's my thing.
Regardless if we're talking about
Chris Jones,
Rams
are you listening?
Or we're talking about the Eagles.
Jones,
I want the NFC to win it.
Scenario: you went to Washington.
Correct.
You're a Husky for life.
Yes,
you
sir.
bleed purple and gold.
Absolutely.
If Washington State, your main number one rival, was in the college football playoff national championship, there is no way.
That's me.
There is no way.
If I had a chance and I blew my chance, now guess what? I don't have a right to now be sitting up here sobbing and hating on everybody else.
The hell you don't.
That's not in me. That's not in me. That's not in me. I promise you.
This is comparable. This conversation is comparable to when Georgia lost to Bama in the SEC championship, and then Bama went on to the title game.
Yeah.
Georgia lost to LSU in the SEC championship. LSU went on to the title game. And in both of those occurrences, people would look at me and say, well, are you cheering for those guys because it's SEC? You got to pull for SEC. The hell I do. I want whoever is going against those guys that beat me.
Let me give you a perfect example. Okay, so I hate Oregon and I hate Washington State.
Okay.
Hate them. Yeah. The same way y'all hate Philly and all that. I hate Oregon.
I don't know. I'm wondering if it's equivalent now.
No. When I see that little freaking duck, I want to get my dog a Nintendo gun out. Okay. Yeah. So like it just gets me there. We were at the game at the hotel. Okay, walking around down there at the Riverwalk. Okay, getting ready. The next day was going to be the game, Washington versus Texas for the bowl game this year. Okay. Walking past the bar downstairs, I saw the Oregon game. The Oregon game came down to the wire. Okay, I don't know if you guys remember that this year. Okay, Oregon game here. I stopped and watched and cheered on Oregon.
I think we talked about that.
I stopped and watched and cheered on Oregon. Why? Because I don't give a crap about Oregon, but they're playing somebody outside our conference. Oh, yeah, I can't stand that. So,
are you sure?
And my brother went there. So, listen, I started cheering for it. You know why? I want them to win. I want them to win.
Yeah, go Oregon.
No, I hate Oregon. I hate Oregon.
That would be
go Ducks.
That would be like me saying blank Tide.
I don't have listen. Everybody's entitled. Man. I just don't have hate in my system. Dallas had
when
a
it
chance.
Comes to sports.
Listen,
I absolutely
if I
have
a
hate in my
chance to
system when
face
it comes
that
to
opponent,
sports.
Then it's one thing. But Dallas lost that opportunity.
So that means that my hate for my sports rival suddenly lessens because I blew my opportunity?
For me, yes, absolutely.
No, what should happen is I should look in the mirror and check myself for the next time. But while I'm doing that, I am also looking at my opponent, my bitter rival, and saying, I hope the planet collapses on top of me.
I don't have that in me.
That's what I hope.
I don't have that in me.
We're talking sports, though. We're not talking real life, because that's the difference.
No, I'm saying even in sports, I don't have that in me. Like if I have my shot and I miss my shot, that's on me.
No.
That's on me.
The competitor in me, no way. On no sports level, in no sports category. I don't care.
Now listen, if they were facing another if it was the NFC Championship, No, this is a different scenario.
No.
If it's the NFC Championship, yeah, I hate that. And it's the Eagles.
How could you hate a duck that does push-ups?
Hey,
tell him put on some pants.
No, seriously. So if you're talking about a rival,
put on some pants.
If you're talking about a rival, and you're talking about the Eagles, right? We're talking about the Eagles. If the Eagles are facing another Green Bay in the NFC Championship, I'm going to cheer for Green Bay,
bro. Okay, Phillies.
You know what I'm saying? But
listen, Phillies beat my Braves fair and square, and I gave the Phillies respect for that. Publicly, I gave them respect for that. But did I cheer for the Phillies against the Padres? Absolutely not. It was go Padres. That's how this works in this household.
Yeah.
And that was not to take away from the Phillies going, and this is different because the Eagles and the Cowboys didn't go head-to-head to determine who moves forward.
Correct.
Phillies and Braves went head-to-head to determine who went forward in the wild card, and Phillies beat them straight up. Nothing away from the Phillies. I'm taking nothing away. But in that next series, when they went against the Padres, I damn near had on the Padres jersey.
I think he was looking at it online.
Yeah, get these guys out of here.
I hear you.
That's
everybody's different.
Yeah. Dude, you are in the minority right now. I guarantee. That's fair.
I've been there my whole life, Kyle.
Ladies and gentlemen, respond on Twitter to this conversation.
I've been in minority my whole life.
Kyle's going to drop a Twitter poll. I just
you need to chill. You got to chill. That's not okay.
I've always been 1%, Kyle.
But here's what I feel.
You're probably in the 1%.
I feel like Kyle's going to drop a Twitter poll today, and this is just going to go.
And that's okay.
Oh, people are going
to
get mad at me for even asking the question.
How you guys know?
No, you have to.
I'm used to being on my own island. I'm perfectly fine with that. That's just my mentality.
Well, okay, and same. Clearly,
fierce competitor.
Clearly,
fierce competitor. I'm a fierce competitor now.
Clearly,
don't
I've
try
always
me.
been the black
But once I'm out the picture, I have no hate.
No,
I have no hate.
I could be out of the picture and still hang it in the living room.
I can
somewhere.
dislike you, but if you're the only one standing left from our side.
Nah,
I want you to win.
Nah,
that's just me.
I'm out on that one.
Nah.
I didn't get my prediction. Chiefs win it 27-21.
Is that your heart saying that, or is that your?
No, my heart says Chiefs 40-3.
Okay,
but I'll say 27-20.
Why do you think the Chiefs are going to win?
Honestly, I think
they defensive line wise, first and foremost.
Yeah,
they have the edge guys.
Nasty.
Who?
Both teams.
Are you serious?
But I would give.
Who's better front seven?
Chris Jones.
No, you're asking me why I feel like
that team.
No,
Chris Jones.
Who's deeper? Who's deeper on the D line?
Your question is why do we feel like the Chiefs are going to win?
I'm asking.
The reason that
also give me Patrick Mahomes over Jalen Hurts
every day.
I agree.
Give me Patrick Mahomes over every other quarterback.
Anybody, yeah.
Every quarterback, and I do mean every. So that's one. So that's the advantage there, quarterback versus quarterback. But also one of the reasons the Eagles continue to thrive offensively is because Jalen Hurts, or when Jalen Hurts is able to speed the edge and burn the edge. Okay, well, Chris Jones, Frank Clark, that's a, you know what I mean? Like that's a deadlock.
But which D line is better? Honestly,
it's really tight.
It's not that tight. It is not that tight. It is not that tight.
Slight edge to the Eagles only because their interior
Chiefs
defensive line is slightly
Absolutely,
better.
I watched the Chiefs.
The Eagles' interior defensive line is slightly better. So slight, what are you talking, 51-49? Eagles, fair enough. But as far as the edges go, 51-49 Chiefs. As far as the edges go, are you telling me you take Sweat over Clark or Sweat over Jones? Or I mean, think about it for a second. So I think
in its entirety. That's talking about the defensive
The front
line
seven for
Philadelphia Eagles
it's
is
almost,
probably
it's
better.
almost a wash.
You're damn right. They have two starting
It's
D-lines.
almost a wash, though.
They
It's
literally
almost a
have
wash.
2 starting D-lines.
It's almost a
one
wash.
from like 2015, and then the other one that's 2022.
It worked well against us.
Here's
the first
my
time.
I believe that
resting guys next time.
If you can keep,
they really weren't though.
If you can keep Jalen Hurts in the pocket, you increase your chances of winning significantly. However, flip it over to the Eagles' defensive line. If you can keep Patrick Mahomes in the pocket, does that significantly increase your? No, he can make every single freaking throw, including the throws he's not supposed to make from inside the pocket.
I think this D-line is gonna give. I think it's gonna be a hell of a game.
I think it's gonna be a good game.
But
too.
I think that Philadelphia is too deep at that position to cause those guys. And they don't have a running game. They're not going to be able to have a running game against them. So he's going to be throwing the ball 47 times.
Who? Patrick Mahomes.
Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
You realize
you
realize they like that, right?
I get that. I get that.
Making the Chiefs one-dimensional as a passing offense is playing into their hands.
Philadelphia has the guys to guard their receivers as well.
They have 2 guys.
That's all they need.
No, you're going to need more.
Isaiah's already got his
Patrick
Chiefs
Mahomes
Reds on.
can make wide receiver 3 and 4 and 5 look like wide receiver 1 and 2.
I think they're going to cause them some issues.
I don't think so.
Look at my score prediction. I said 34-24. That's not indicative.
I don't have a score prediction. I wish I can give you.
Yeah, that's not indicative of me saying that.
I wish you could give me one
Eagles
too.
are going to get thumped. But I do believe that that Patrick Mahomes.
Just throw one out.
Mahomes is a dude. Listen, and you get no argument from me on this. He's a freaking dude. But I just think he's going to have some problems.
Bottom line.
Let
me bottom line this for you on top of everything we said. Andy Reid, greater than Nick Sirianni.
I agree with that too.
I agree.
There you go.
I agree with that too.
All right. We didn't even get to the Dak Prescott conversation that I teased. We'll do that next week, Tuesday. We'll have a whole
Isaiah
topic
said some
about it.
Tomfoolery.
I did not realize that this Super Bowl segment would just go off the rails so quickly, but it was a fun one, at least.
It was fun. It was
go
good.
Ducks. Yeah. Oregon.
Fudge that.
Get out of here. You cheer for them if they're in the title game.
Yeah.
You know?
I would.
Come on.
If they were, I would.
Stop it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whatever. Marcus Mariota up against Ohio State. Were you cheering for him? Were you? They were in
Oregon, yes.
Yeah. Did you cheer for Oregon a couple years ago?
Anytime anybody a representative from the conference, yeah, absolutely.
The day I want Nick Saban to win another ring.
I don't.
Yeah.
Hey, I just don't have hate for other people.
We're not talking about people. We're talking
about sports.
Yeah, but when I'm out of
uniforms.
When I'm out of it, my hate is just. I mean, it's just.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mine is eternal.
Sweet.
Mine is eternal.
That's the title of the show. All right.
Eternal.
That's it for us. For Chris Beam, Isaiah Stanback, Patrick No-C Walker, I'm Kyle Yeomans. We'll see you next Tuesday, 10 a.m. Central Time with more Talkin' Cowboys.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys?